Hey guys, it's Rosam here, and today we're gonna implement a sign up system with email verification. So when the user signs up, the website automatically sends an email to the given email address with the verification code. So grab a coffee and let's get started. For this, we're gonna follow the common practice that most websites do. When the user signs up with his details, the website automatically sends an email to the given email address with a verification code. The verification code, of course, attached to a link like this as a query parameter. So when the user clicks that link, he is again taken to that website. So the website can grab that query parameter and the verification code. It can validate that verification code and mark the user as a correct user, as a valid user. So that's what happening under the hood, right? So we're gonna implement this in our project. Open up your Laravel project and open up the terminal. I'm using the terminal comes with the IDE, but you can always use the default terminal comes with your operating system, right? First, I'm going to install Auth package. I'm using this Auth package to save time, but you can always use your own login functionality. I'm going to install Auth package. I'm going to install the Laravel UI composer required. This will install the Laravel UI. It will take some time. And after the installation is done, I'm going to type PHP artisan UI view --auth. Right. Now the auth package has been installed. I'm going to open up the register controller that was installed with auth package, and as you can see, this create method is the one that creating users when they are signing up. I'm gonna simply delete this method and create my own login functionality. I'm gonna create a new function called public function register. Right. This is where I implement my customize my own register functionality. Actually, what we are doing here is, as you can see, this register controller use a parent class called register users. If you click on this, it will open up the parent class, and you can see there is a method called register. So what we are doing here is, we are gonna override that register method with our own login functionality. That's what we are doing. So let's continue. Before writing the register functionality, I'm gonna open up the users table migration that was created by default in the migration folder. I'm gonna open that up and add 2 more columns to this migration. It will be a string column, and the name is verification code. And this field I'm gonna set to nullable, and I'm gonna create another column. It is an integer column. I'm gonna name that is verified, and the default value should be 0. Right. So they make sense to you. We're gonna store the verification code and mark the user as a verified user. Right. I'm gonna close this and run the migration. PHP artisan migrate. Right, then I can write my login functionality. I'm gonna create a new user instance. This user model was created by default, and I'm gonna put the name column like this. And the email column, then the password column, I'm gonna use the hash function of Laravel. Oops. Make, and inside that I'm gonna put request and password. Right, and for the verification code, I'm gonna use another hashing function called sha1, and I'm gonna put the timestamp which happens which technically happens once, so it is a unique for each user. Right, I'm gonna save this like this. Alright, then I'm gonna check if the user is created, is not null, and if it is not null, I'm going to send the mail, send email like this. Send email and redirect to the redirect to O, show a message. So user know I'm going to show some message to the user. We have sent an email with the verification link like that. Or if the user is not created or by some errors or something, then I'm going to redirect or show message, show error message. So this is what we are going to implement. Next thing I'm going to do is implementing mailing functionality. For this I'm going to use Laravel mailable class. I have a complete tutorial for this, using this mailable class and creating implementing this mail functionality. So I'm not going to talk about it in detail, but I will create the mailable class from scratch here as well. You can follow along. First I'm going to type php artisan make mail, and the name of the mailable class is Signup email. Hit enter. This will create the mailable class inside the mail folder. Here we are going to create a new template for our email, our confirmation email. I'm gonna create a new folder called mail so that I can put my all email templates here, and create a blade called sign up email. .blade.php. So this is my email template. I can put whatever I want, but I'm gonna go with a simple text-based email content like this. Hello, welcome to my website. Please click the following link and verify your account, like this. Alright, I'm gonna hit save and I'm gonna use it here. Sign up. Oops. Mail folder. Sign up. Email dot right. Like this. And I'm gonna pass some data from the constructor like this, and email data equals to the data we are passing, right? And I'm gonna pass this data to the email template. Right. For this I'm gonna put some configuration as well. I'm gonna use from address and from name and the subject. You can follow this tutorial for complete guidance of implementing this mail functionality. And I'm gonna put my sender's email, which is I have defined in my environment variable file, my env file. It will be like mail underscore username, and the name of the sender will be like my website's name. Oops. It is Coderosom, like this. And the subject should be like, I'm gonna hard code it here, welcome to Coderosom. Right. And we are gonna call this from our register controller. I'm gonna create a separate controller for sending emails so that I can use that separately for implementing all the email functionality. I'm gonna create a new controller, PHP artisan make controller mail controller, like this. I'm gonna close these two, and in the mail controller I'm gonna create a new method, public static function. This will be a static function so that I can call it easily. Public static function, this will be like I'm gonna name this send sign up email. And now I'm gonna call that mailable class we created few minutes ago. Mail the to address, which is the recipient's address, and then the send method. In the send method I'm gonna pass the mailable class we just created as the argument. It will be sign up email. By the way, this IDE imports all the classes and facades when I am typing. So if your ID doesn't do that, you have to import it manually like this. Right, now I'm gonna pass the user's name and the email and the verification code like this. So the email will be added to this. So that's the recipient's email, so it is the given email by the user, and I'm gonna put the other variables into an array like this. Name and verification code like this. So this array is passed to the mailable class we created like this. So I can call this sign up email from my register controller. That's what we are going to do now. So I'm gonna call this method here, mail controller. The method is sign up email. Great, and I'm gonna pass the email, the name and the email and the verification code that is created when the user is created. Email and verification code. Great, like this. When the mail is sent, I'm gonna show some message to the user. For that, I'm gonna redirect him back to the sign up page. Redirect. Back with some message. It will be like with here I'm gonna put some session messages. So session flash the message. I'm gonna put a class like alert success, and the message is your account has been created, please check email for verification link, yeah, whatever. So that's the success message. And for the error message, I'm gonna change the class to alert danger. These are just bootstrap classes that comes with Laravel. The message is like something went wrong. Right, oops, I made a terrible mistake here. This should be not equal to null. So if the user is created, it is not equal to null, then the mail should be sent and the user must be redirected back to the sign up page. Right, and this is almost ready, and we have one thing left, that we need to display this message in the sign up page. So currently there is no space to display that message. I'm gonna open up the login register page in the auth folder. In this blade file, I'm gonna put some code snippet to display the error message. You can use your own way of displaying that. I'm using some fancy way of displaying the error message in the session. Anyway, I'm gonna put this in the video description. You can copy it and use it in your project. Right, I'm gonna hit save and close this two babies, and I'm gonna open up the browser and test this. I'm gonna fill up this form with my name, Tarindu Lakshita, and one of my working email address and some crazy password. Then hit register button. It's loading. It takes some time, which means we will have a success message. Yes, we do. Your account has been created. And let's open up my email, and yes, we have received an email. I'm gonna open it up, and hello. Yeah, that's the content we wrote in our email template. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna customize this email template. Currently it sends it just the same email to every user, but I'm gonna customize this. I'm gonna personalize this for each user. Hello, with the recipient's name and then the verification code that is unique for each user. So let's do it right now. In the mail controller, we are passing data like this to the mailable class we created, name and the verification code. So in the mailable class, we pass this data to the email template we have created. So this data can be used in the email template. Okay, let's use the name of the user next to the hello. So it will be like email data and the name property like this, and then the verification link, http. Let's say my website address is like this, my website.com/ then the verification route, which we don't have yet, but we'll be creating it in a minute. It should be like verify. Then the query parameter I'm gonna put is code, and then the email data array and the verification code property like this. Let's test this on the browser and make sure you delete the user you have already created in our previous test. The name should be Tarindu Lakshita, and the email address is one of my working email address, the same email address I used previously. Then some password, hit register button. It taking times, which means it's gonna work, and it is. Let's check the email. Yes, we have a new email, and I'm gonna open it up. Right, hello Tarindu Lakshita, which is my name, and our verification link, it is working as it's supposed to, because when I am hovering over with my mouse pointer, you can see the website address and the route and the query parameter is there. So once I click this, I should be taken to the website and that particular route. So currently I have put a different domain should put my local host, so we will customize that now. My project URL is like this. I'm gonna replace this domain with the my local project URL. It is like this, and this verify route which does not exist yet, let's create it now. I'm gonna open up the routes folder. In the web.php, I'm gonna create a new get route get. The URL segment is like verify, and the register controller, it is inside the auth folder. And verify user, we will create this method in a minute and name this route as verify user. Right, let's create that method really quick. In the register controller, public function verify user. In order to access the query parameter, I'm gonna need request class as the parameter. I need to access the query parameter, so I'm gonna create a new variable for that. It is the verification code. Equals to, I'm using request facade for that, and get. So this way I can access the query parameter. The query parameter we used was code. Alright, once we grab the query parameter, which is the verification code, we need to search through the users table using that verification code. So I'll be searching users like this. In the user model, I'm gonna use a where query. Here the column name is verification code. Excuse me, I'm gonna use the first method because I'm gonna need just the first user, because there is only one user with that verification code. Then if the user is found not equals to null, then I'm gonna mark this user as a verified user. Is verified equals to 1, then I'm gonna save that user like this. This is just a basic update query. If the user is verified, then we need to take him to the login page. Let's put it like this. Redirect, route, login. The message should be like, your account is verified, please login. Great. And if somehow it cannot find the verification code in the user's table, we need to redirect user maybe to the register route or the login route with the message that invalid verification code. Let's say the message something went wrong, or no, invalid verification code. Great. Now let's test this again. Open up the browser and make sure you delete the earlier user in the database. Yeah, I have already deleted. Let's create the user with the same email address we used earlier. My name and my working email, some password. Oops. Hit register. Let's see. Yes, the account is created. Let's go to the email and we have a new email, and yes, we have our details and the verification code. And see, when you are hovering, the URL is the local URL of my project. Now in the database, the user is created with the details, email address and password and all, and the verification code. Now the is verified column is set to 0. Let's click this link and we'll see whether it is working. I'm gonna click this link and it is open in a new tab. Yes, we are redirect back to the login page, but we don't have a message. That's because we didn't put the message space in the login page. We'll fix that later, and I'm going to check the database and refresh it, and yes, then the is verified value is now 1. So the user was marked as a verified user, so it's working. Alright, let's fix that message really quick. In the login blade, I'll do the same. I'll add the same message space to the login blade as well, like this. Now I will test this later. And one important thing we forgot to implement was the user still can log in to the system even if he is not verified. We need to fix that first. Let's open up the login controller. Here we need to define a function like this. Credentials, like this. We are naming this function credential is because the parent class also contains a method called credentials. So in that method it is only using password. So we are in our login controller, we are overriding that function to use is verify method as well. So I'm gonna return this I'm gonna open up this authenticate users class and copy this line of code that is already written in the parent method. I'm gonna return this here, and here we need to check whether the is verified column is set to 1, not 0. So this returns an array, and I want to return another array like this. Is verified the value should be 1, and we need to merge these two arrays. We will use PHP array merge function. Right now these two arrays are merged, and username, password and is verified, all these values are checked when the user is login. Okay, now let's create a user and let's try to login without verifying. I'm gonna login again, and make sure you delete the earlier user. My name Tarindu, and the working email of mine, and some password. I'm gonna hit register. Yes, it is working, and we get an email as well. Now before verifying the account, I'm gonna try logging in, and yes, I'm gonna hit login button, and yes, I get this same common error, these credentials do not match our records. So it's too obvious, makes sense, because even though the user is created, he's not a valid user in the system. So the system can say, yes, we don't have such user until you verify your account. So let's verify the account and try again. I'm gonna click here, click the verify link. I'm gonna use my credentials and try logging in again. Yes, now we are logged in. So guys, it's working as it's supposed to. The system can register users, and it can also automatically send emails with the verification link, and when the user clicks the verification links, it can validate the user and mark him as a verified user. And also the system does not allow unverified users to log in. So the system is complete, and that's it for this tutorial. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the like button as well. If you have any concerns, please let me know in the comment section, and catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.